All right. Welcome, everybody. You two ladies. Don't worry, there's friends on here. That's why I said that. There's like 9 or 10 people signed up from work watching. There's another Marla coming on. All right, team. So welcome to your nutrition and supplement kind of clinic. Okay, so we're going to give you some information about the Get Fit for Summer coming up. Dive into nutrition. Give you some information about the supplements that are coming into the studio that we're going to have on the shelves and everything included in that. All right. So my name's Steven. If you don't remember me, if you guys don't remember me, I don't even know if they can see me yet. They're just listening to my voice, but you're following along on the screen here. Okay. So we're going to talk about our overall vision here at Regymen. We're more than just the HIIT studio now. Okay. We've taken that beyond. We want to focus on health and wellness, and what that encompasses is your fitness, your nutrition, and your recovery. We added balance. Okay. So that helps with overall fitness and dips into recovery a little bit. We've got foam rollers now. Okay, we're going to be working a few different things with compression pants and things like that down the road. So we want to kind of incorporate that. But the big focus today is on your nutrition. And we're going to mention what that is. As you guys know, I've been working towards getting that nutrition certification. I've got a bachelor's degree in exercise science. So I have a lot of external knowledge based off of nutrition. So it's all legit. Okay. With that being said, I'm not a registered dietitian. Okay, so I can't diagnose you or anything of that nature. But I can give you a whole lot of information on nutrition. That's what I'm here for. So big thing about nutrition is there's essentially 2 different things that nutrition encompasses. One is wholesome foods, okay? And the other is going to be your dietary structure in macronutrients and supporting supplements, okay? So with that, let's go ahead and just start diving in, okay? So what are macros? So macros, you've heard that fancy word around before. Macronutrients are the 3 primary ways that food can be giving you energy, essentially. Okay, so you have carbohydrates, you have fats, and you have proteins. Okay, we all are pretty familiar with that. Just in case you're not, okay, what carbs do is they give you energy. They're your main fuel source. Okay, so when you go and start cutting carbs out, your body has to figure out where to get the fuel from. It's going to dive into either your proteins, which is your muscles, or it'll go into a little bit of fats, being your body fat. But we want those carbohydrates because that helps with blood sugar and glucose levels. And that's all the fancy stuff that makes us go and move properly in HIIT training as well as in the real world. Okay, so fats keep you saturated or full. So what you guys have probably heard this week is the coach has been mentioning a few things about make sure you're getting healthy fats in and eating a rainbow, not like the Skittles. Okay, so rainbow color, so fruits and vegetables. Okay, so those are your carbohydrates, and your fats are going to be anything that is fatty fish like salmon. You've got your nuts, so any kind of cashews, almonds, Brazilian nuts, whatever kind you enjoy. And then you've got another example is avocados. Okay, so you'll know that if you hit a craving point in the day, if you grab a serving size, which we'll go into on fats, then you'll be saturated longer, which means you'll be full and those cravings will be kind of crushed. Okay, so that's why fats are important. And then proteins build and repair your muscles. So you strike the right balance of these macros, and being aware of your overall calorie intake can be a whole game changer of what your goal might be, if it's muscle gain, fat loss, or maintaining what you already have. So let's say you gain the muscle you want, okay? And you don't want to get any more muscle, but you're fine with your body fat percentage. You just want to maintain. So protein is going to be very important to make sure you're intaking, so that way you maintain that muscle mass you have. Okay, you might want to lose some fat, you might want to gain some muscle, whatever the case might be, and that's where the eVolt comes in hand with that, kind of determining your goal on that. Okay, so each macro serves a specific purpose. Okay, and let's take a deeper dive into that. All right, so carbohydrates, they're a necessity, as I mentioned already. Okay, so they digest quickly and they turn into sugar or blood glucose, which you can then store in the liver and muscles as glycogen, as I was just kind of prefacing in the last slide. Okay, so you want those carbs, and then that gives you the fuel that you need to work hard in those regimen workouts here. Okay, get that interval training, spike heart rate, come back down, things like that. All those spikes, that's where you've got a major flow of glucose and glycogen being released from the muscle. So you spike up there. You don't want to do these workouts fasted. I know sometimes at 6:15 in the morning, it's hard to wake up early and get a little something in, but you'll have reserves from the night before and you'll be good to go. But carbohydrates are very important, and they provide you with energy that you need to burn fats and develop the metabolizing muscles that we're looking for, okay? So that's why carbs are such a big importance. Why do we need fats, okay? They are great for your nervous system and your brain health, okay? They also help you absorb the fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, okay? And it also is a protection for your organs, okay? So what you'll see on your eVolt scans is the total fat mass, the one that we always target when we do these challenges, okay? That is accumulation of the skin fold test, so what you kind of have present and visible on your body surfaces, and then also visceral fat. So that's the fats around your organs, which need to be there so that way your liver doesn't go and punch your stomach in the stomach, okay? So you want to make sure they're not all bouncing around. So fats are necessary for those and for vitamin absorption, and you keep you full and help decrease your unnecessary snacking throughout the day. Okay, all right, and then protein, big one. Everyone struggles with protein because a few things you might need to keep in mind. Do I eat meat? You might not, okay? I don't eat a whole lot of meat, okay? I kind of experimented with it and I digest the plant-based foods a lot easier, okay? So I don't eat meat. I know you like to eat meat. You guys have cookouts all the time. It's a good thing because you get your protein intake that way, okay? So plant-based, you're gonna have a little more struggle with taking in protein, whereas if you're eating animal products, you're gonna be able to get that protein in there, but you have to focus on the lean and some that is fatty. So it's a good variation of those. We'll kind of dive into that a little bit down the road. But other reasons why protein is important is it increases lean body mass, which equals sustainable and long-term weight loss and progress. Because the more muscle that you can have on you, the higher metabolism is, because remember, those muscles take your carbohydrates and turn it into energy. Okay? You can't create the energy necessarily, okay? So you have to get that through your food and your nutrients, but you want to fuel the muscles with protein, okay? So they're the building block of all muscles and muscle synthesis. That's what protein is. Beyond that is amino acids. We'll dive into that a little bit down the road with the supplementation. Protein provides you a crucial source of essential amino acids. So you can get some of your amino acids through the food because, like I mentioned, protein is built up with amino acids. So you eat protein, you absorb those amino acids as well, which helps in recovery and repairing. And that leads me to the last point here. Amino acids are vital for things like nutrient absorption and tissue repair. Both are crucial in recovering from exercise, and some studies suggest that you consume protein an hour after you finish working out. In my personal opinion, the body will take what the body wants. It doesn't care what time of day it is, okay? So yes, you have a window where you're gonna have hunger, obviously, when your body is gonna look to replenish, but it's taking food from yesterday that it's stored and then it's using that to recover. Does that make sense? So there are some studies that do show there is a sweet spot of an hour. I'll let you guys determine what your sweet spot is for that, okay? My opinion is the body's gonna take what it wants when it wants, all right? So knowing your macros, this little cheat sheet. So you have carbs, which everyone knows is gonna be more focused towards the breads, the rice, the cereal, the quinoa, things of that nature, right? But nothing is truly just one source, okay? So even an apple has a little bit of protein in it, okay? Just maybe a gram or something, but it's not major, but fruit is going to be more carbohydrate, okay? So, but that being said, like me saying I was plant-based. With beans, which I eat a lot of, that has proteins and carbs in it, but doesn't have any fats in it, okay? And then there are some beans that do have fats in it. So it just depends on which food you're eating, essentially. And then you have chicken, which doesn't have any carbohydrates in it unless you put some kind of seasoning or spice on it or some condiment, but then it will have a little bit of fat. Even chicken has about 1 gram of fat per 4 ounces, okay? Red meat and fish is gonna have a little bit more, unless you're going more towards a tuna, which is very lean, and it might have the same as 1 gram of fat like just your chicken does, okay? So point is, each food that we eat has a combination of carbs, fats, and proteins in its macronutrient profile, okay? So always keep that in mind. So how do you calculate your macros? Big thing on that is counting macros basically is a way of monitoring what you're eating, okay? So great way to do that is through technology that I have available now or food journals. So One thing that I recommend for everyone doing this challenge or anyone that's trying to develop structure in their eating habits, use MyFitnessPal. That's a great resource. That's the only one that I've trusted. Okay, so we'll go into further explanation when we do our consultations and things like that if you're doing the tier 2. Okay, but MyFitnessPal, if you're doing the tier 1, very easy to just YouTube MyFitnessPal tutorial, and then it'll show you everything there. When tier 2, I'll take a deeper dive one-on-one with you, and then I'll kind of help you out in that 30-minute consultation that we said. Okay, so if you want to keep it simple, a gram of carbohydrates gives you 4 calories. Okay, a gram of protein also gives you 4 calories. A gram of fat gives you 9 calories, and then a gram of alcohol gives you 7 calories. Just a little tidbit there. Okay, alcohol is measured as something different. Okay, so the easiest way to track your macros, like I said, is step 1. You want to take your eVolt scan. It's going to set you up. Make sure, as you guys know, all those listening, make sure you're hydrated when you take those eVolt scans, because it sends little electrical signals through your muscles, and you know that you don't throw a toaster in the bathtub, right? Because electricity and all that jazz. Well, don't worry, your body's gonna keep you safe. It's gonna be hydrated muscles, which is gonna bounce all these signals off, and then you get more accurate scan that way. So you wanna be fasted. You wanna not have exercise because that's water retention, but you wanna make sure you're hydrated enough so that way the currents have something to bounce off. Okay, so take your scans. Okay, step 2, adjust your macros and your calories in MyFitnessPal according to your scan. Okay, and then step 3, track your food and your drinks and everything you take in. Okay, so you do want to even track water if you're getting really serious about it, because you just want to monitor how much you drink a day. Okay, so for me, I know I drink one of these every workout that I coach. Okay, so lots of water here. I have 3 of that. That's pretty much 3/4 of a gallon, and then I want to get about a 1/4 in. So I try to get 3 to 4 of these a day. Okay, so you just want to make sure you're drinking water. If you're drinking anything, if you're a juice person, like you like orange juice or cherry juice or whatever, then you want to track that because it does have carbs in it as well. So those are sneaky things. So do condiments as well. So if you're someone that likes salad dressings, they have carbohydrates in those as well. Okay, so we'll dive into more of that a little bit later. Okay, so now, supplement overview. Are they necessary? Yes, if I get straight to the point. Okay, and here's why. So a healthy, balanced diet supplies the food with sufficient nutrients, and it helps you carry out your daily tasks. Okay, we all know that because we're still here today and we're living, and we ate yesterday, and now here we are and we're functioning properly, right? Okay, so the demand placed on farmers nowadays, though, food quality has gone down a little bit over the past 20 years because the Western civilization that we're at has a lot of people, as you can see outside, okay? So the farmers have to work a lot, which means their soil constantly gets changed up and churned over. So which means the soil is not as great, which means the quality of food has gone down just by natural causes. There's nothing we can do about that, okay? So that means 20 years ago, your kale or your spinach or whatever had a lot more nutrition in it than nowadays, just because we can't provide the same soil that we once had 20 years ago, okay? That's just the fact of it, the matter, okay? So that's why supplements are important, because most of us don't grow our own foods. Now, if you grow your own food, a little different story. Obviously, you know the source right then and there because it's right in your backyard, okay? It's not to say that all these people driving back and forth, you know, there's still pollutants and things like that. So that's where supplements come in. They're the pure form of whatever you might be missing, or you might be deficient in, okay? So we'll dive into that. So yes, supplements are absolutely an integral part of a holistic, healthy lifestyle, as they just fill in the gaps, essentially. Okay? They fill in the missing pieces to the puzzle. That's what supplements do, okay? So 90% of the population ages between 18 and 49, which is roughly our demographic for the most part, okay? Some might be a little older, some might be a little younger. Carter was just in here, he's like 12, so, you know, different little age gaps there. But for the most part, 90% of the population are missing in some of these categories here, which are, I'm not gonna read every single one of them, but amino acids, vitamin A, vitamin E, calcium, omega-3s, protein, magnesium, things of that nature. Okay, and now we have supplements that have these specific deficiencies covered for you. Okay, so 3 steps to fix a broken diet. Number 1, I always lean nutrition heavy first. Okay, so eat what you can, because 1, it will provide you with more nutrients all in one sitting, because obviously in the supplements, it gives you whatever is in the container or the box or whatever the case might be, right? Okay, so it's isolated, just this is purely what you want, here it is. When you have food, you're gonna get the nutrients in random categories. So like I mentioned, you have your beans, you're covered with a few carbs and a few proteins, okay? And then there's different fibers in that bean as well, and so on and so forth, okay? So always make sure you focus on food first and then supplement when necessary, okay? Now, deficiencies that we see is water intake. You want about 1 gallon a day, like I mentioned, so make sure you're drinking plenty of water, especially with it getting warmer. Okay, that means just naturally your body will run warmer, because outside temperatures affect you, and then your internal temperature raises, and then you sweat more, okay, and then you lose more water, so you need to replenish more water. Make sure you're eating your fruits and vegetables, and you're taking vitamins, okay? It sounds like something Hulk Hogan would say, okay? But he had a point, okay? So make sure you just get that rainbow in, you're getting vitamins in, you're keeping that body healthy. It helps with the proper functioning of all our systems, okay? And then track your energy levels. You might need to take B6 or B12, which is a little vitamin that just provides you with natural energy, okay? It's again a supplement. If you are plant-based, then you have to take B12, because B12 is only found in meat or animals products, okay? So I have to take a B12 supplement because, as I mentioned, I don't eat meat, so I have to supplement that way. Okay, you might not need it. If your energy levels are pretty solid, you can probably avoid it, okay? Adjust your food amounts and the sources of which you're getting things. So what I mean by that is, it's hard. I know when we're on the go all the time, and Chick-fil-A's right there, and they move very quickly and efficiently, okay? But you don't know what's in that food, okay? There's a reason people keep going back there. You go back to what you like, right? So they put something that makes you want it in there. Just kind of throwing that out there, okay? So be aware of those little things. Try to eat at home as best you can, because you know that you're cooking it, okay? And then less processed foods too. So now I'm saying, like, if spaghetti or pasta or rice comes in a bag, that's not necessarily processed, it's just packaged that way. They're not gonna hand you a bunch of grains of rice that way, okay? But I'm saying, like, if you get a bag of like the jambalaya mix and it has like everything already made, and then you just throw it in the microwave and you're like, okay, perfect. And then there's a lot of different preservatives in there that kind of can mess with your progress, okay? And then you want to just fine tune the details and track your progress. So that's where the one-on-one coaching comes into play that we're offering in tier 2, all right? So intro of the supplements to optimize. So you drink more water, as mentioned. So one thing that we have is called BCAA Revolution, okay? So all that means is the branch chain amino acid. That's what BCAA stands for. And those are the little amino acids you can't get naturally from the body. So your body produces naturally. You have food that gives you some, and then you need to look at outside sources for the missing ones. So that's where the Revolution comes from. It also has a hydration, so it has electrolytes. Okay, so that way, other ways to naturally get electrolytes, drink pickle juice. Okay, that's sodium. Exactly. Make that face. That's why we have Revolution, because no one wants to chug pickle juice. Okay, unless you're weird like me. I can do that. But eat more foods that are rich in vitamins and minerals. So we also have the fruits and greens, which is a very easy way. Let's say you might be sensitive to texture. Okay, let's say you don't like Brussels sprouts because they stink. You don't like broccoli because they give you the farts. Whatever. Okay, stuff like that. Fruits and greens is basically a concentrated form of those different vegetables and fruits that you might not necessarily like, but you can carry with you to work, or you can do it at home. Just throw it in a bottle, shake it up, and then drink it, and then it gives you your servings of fruits and vegetables. Very convenient. Okay, we're super excited for that one, and the taste is very good. Okay, so moving on to the protein portion, we have a protein powder. Okay, lean whey protein. It has the ability to build and recover that lean muscle mass that you are breaking down inside. Remember, exercise breaks the body down, and then food builds the body up. So that's the same thing that protein is going to do. Use that as a supplement. I know it's hard to get those grams of protein that the eVolt recommends, so that's how we're trying to help out with this. Okay, and then we also have fish oils to make sure that we get the omega-3s, omega-6s. Some people don't like fish oils, okay, or like fish in general. So fish oils is a good way to do that. But there are some omega-3s and omega-6s in the protein blend that we have. So even if you don't like fish oil, then you'll be able to get those necessary omega-3s in, okay? We have an immunity that also is something that helps give you antioxidants, which we've spoken about before in the past with berries, okay? So all that means is when we do exercise, you know that oxygen is being released because you're breathing heavy, right? So the more you can build up antioxidants, which is against oxygen, okay, then you can fight off free radicals, which in that case means that your aerobic capacity becomes better, and then you're not going to be as worn down. They released a study recently that said almost in every meal you should have some form of antioxidants with berries like strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, whatever, per meal. And it just has to be like a cup-sized handful, so that way you continuously get antioxidants in. Okay, so that's something that I personally have been trying to do on my own, and your stamina and your endurance improves a lot once you start making that a routine practice. So we have an immunity powder for that. Okay, so again, just simple ways. You don't want to eat blueberries, you don't want to eat strawberries, or maybe they go bad too quickly, or whatever the case may be. The powder is going to be good for that. And I know Coach Eric loved that one. He was big on that one. He still wants to continue taking it. Okay, and then Cardio Burn is a supplement that is primarily for the ladies. Okay, that is going to be a thermogenic. It's going to release, increase your internal temperature. And then Whitney was a big fan of that one. So it helps with just making sure the metabolism stays revved up. Okay, so ways you can get that, there's green tea extract, cayenne pepper extract, things of that nature that are in that capsule, and that just helps you keep your metabolism up. Okay, and then it means at rest, you're still going to be having a hot engine, essentially. All right. So, bigger dive into it. Here's the picture. The good thing about the protein is that it is tasty. Okay. We only have the two flavors, chocolate and vanilla, to make it pretty standard for you. Okay. So we didn't want to go off and get like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and like Fruity Waffles and all that stuff, because we're just going to keep it basic for now. Okay. As mentioned, high quality whey protein. So there's two different types of protein. Whey is something that our body naturally digests quickly. Okay. Casein is another one. That's one that we're not going to be providing, but it is a slower digesting protein. But since you guys are in HIIT cardio, HIIT training, we want to make sure we're absorbing that protein quickly and then storing it and then using it the next day after this workout that you just did. Okay. So no bloating or gastric distress. It digests and absorbs quickly are some fun tips on that. Revolution, as I mentioned, different flavor we'll have in that is going to be peach mango. Okay, and it stipulates muscle protein growth, and it's an all-day drink. So the good thing about it is, let's say you're struggling to get that water in. One thing amino acids is good for is it has a taste to it, but you're adding it to water. So you're essentially just drinking water with flavor. Okay, so you have a peach mango. So let's say, oh man, I drank like 3 bottles of water. I need something different. And then, okay, I'm going to take some amino acids, and then I'll take in that flavor, and then it gets to make my water to give me to that gallon a day. Okay. This one, Revolution, again, is something that is a little more for the workout, like during your workout. So remember, you're breaking things down. It's a good way to get you hydrated quicker in this BCAA. So there's 2 different types. One here is going to be more of a, like a build kind of feel. Like you're not revving the engine up too quickly. So you're just taking that in. It gives you a little bit of recovery energy and increases your performance. Whereas the intra workout one here is more for hydration and electrolytes. Okay, so they're 2 different styles there. Then we have your fruits and greens, which I mentioned. It has about over 40 plant-based ingredients as well as spectra. So This one is just a quick way to get in your rainbow colors. Okay? Let's say you meal prep for the week and you're like, oh man, I'm short on carrots or broccoli or whatever, and I don't want to run to the store, and then you have the greens and the fruits there, and then you say, all right, I'm going to have my meal with my protein and my little serving of carbs that I like, and then I'm going to make sure I get my greens in to the super greens, so that way. And it's a good way to get, no one really wants to eat vegetables in the morning, right? Maybe some fruits, but vegetables are more like, I don't know. So you might not get your vegetables if you're a late lunch person until like 2 o'clock. And then you only have a window from that 2 o'clock until you go to bed at 10 or whatever the case might be. You have 8 hours to fill in those 8 servings of vegetables that you need to get. So this is going to help you out with that. Okay. Flavor for that is going to be pineapple. Here's a cardio burn. So thermogenic, it's a fat burning formula designed specifically for the ladies. Ramps up your metabolism to speed up the fat burning process. So it helps in maintain your muscle mass as well, since it has a little bit of BCAAs in there. Tropical Sunrise and Rainbow Fruit are the 2 different flavors of that, so a little bit more tropical. Okay. This one, Alpha Burn, is more for the men. Okay, so this is it's a big thermogenic. It's essentially the cardio burn for a male, though. So it encourages the release of your body fat stores to be used as energy. Okay, and that's also what cardio burn does. It triggers your fats and says, hey, wake up, you got to go be used for energy. And then it'll go ahead and help you out with that. All right. Slim Kit, that is a big 3-in-1. Okay, for the ladies. So it has the 3 most popular supplements from this company that we're using. So this is all from corporate as well. They have a home base in Baton Rouge, and this gentleman owns the store. So this is all very trusted supplements. I know Whitney really liked the Slim Kit. So it has a detox for her, which just makes sure that we're cleansing out our system of all the toxins. It doesn't matter how clean you eat. As long as you're going outside, there's still toxins floating around in the air. There's toxins just when you're out, and it comes from the earth, comes from the cars, comes from everything. Okay, so there's still toxins out there that are unavoidable, but this helps make sure that your system stays as functional and as clean as it can. Okay, and then it has the FemaBurn, which is another thermogenic, and then LipoSlim, which is going to be those fish oils. Okay, so we'll go into those a little bit more. It helps increase your or incinerate your fat, detox and cleanse you, and it boosts your metabolism over time. Okay, so remember, your body's always going to need time to adapt to whatever you're putting into it. So we'll take a little bit of time just to, it's going to realize, like, oh, okay, this is the point of this, so I'm going to go ahead and then the body does its work, and then you'll be good. All right. This is one for the gentleman. Okay, so same principle is basically it's a thermogenic, and it helps support fat loss. And this is going to have the, okay, it basically works as a thermogenic. So I don't think we even have any males on this right now, so I don't have to spend too much time on this, but these all also help with suppressing appetite too. Okay, so you won't be as hungry, or unnecessary cravings won't pop up. Then we have immunity, which this one is basically like a multivitamin, but in a powder form. Okay, so you get your vitamin C. So instead of taking a pill that has everything in it, you'll just have it in a nice drink. Okay, so it has vitamin C in it. It has elderberry. It has olive oil extracts, so keeping your heart healthy. Different things of that nature, CoQ10, so make sure that your heart and your brain are all functioning properly, and you're keeping that immune system up and ready. As we all know, that's majorly important. That's why you're here in the first place, is because, yeah, it's great to look good, but it's better to feel good. Okay, no one wants to be locked up in bed, feeling bad and feeling sick. Okay, so we're here for our immune system, and this is going to help support everything you do in the studio. All right. Synergy is going to be also another form of a multivitamin. So we got 2 different types. It's a perfect alternative for those who do not take a multivitamin pill. Okay, so they're broken down in 2 categories. So this is one. Immunity is more vitamin C, which usually gets in like natural oranges. Okay, and then elderberry, and then Synergy. This is going to be one that you get those vitamins that you need. antioxidants. So this is more like those things I was saying about berries, essentially. Okay. And then here's kind of the testimonials, just so you guys know that we're not just kind of saying like, here's the stuff. Like, we kind of think it works, who knows? But it's all been tested. Okay. So we had a 30-day nutrition challenge. Few images. So wholesome foods are there on the left. Okay. So you'll see that picture with a smiley face is basically cottage cheese and blueberries. We've got some lean protein meals in there with asparagus, and we got some rice. All their meals, I think, aside from one, included carbs. So they all still had carbs coming into the system at all times, whether it be through, it might be rice, it might be quinoa, it might be potato, it might, so different forms, so it never got boring. Okay. Then the supplements that they used, as you can see in the image there. So the male, that was the male stack right there. The ladies, they had the slim kit, so it looks a little bit more condensed, but essentially had the detox, the lipo slim, and thermogenic all in that one little kit, versus here you see the 3 different bottle servings. Okay. And then some results on the workouts, and we'll kind of go into examples. So this was Jason, the owner's progress. So basically he took a scan at the beginning, and he was 52 years old via that scan. Okay. When he scanned out at the end, he lost 3 years, and he was at biological age of 49. Okay. So that shows you we adjusted his nutrition, gave him his supplements, and he went down in biological age. The biological age is essentially that thing can read and tell you how healthy and optimal your systems are working. And then it gives you that number. So it aged him a year older at the beginning than he actually is. And then now he's 2 years younger than he actually is according to that scan. Okay. So other fun numbers on there. His total body weight went down in 2 pounds in just 30 days. Okay. And then with that, his lean body mass went up 6.6 pounds. Okay. So that means all the 2 pounds of loss was fat. Okay. So his fat loss was 8.6 pounds. Okay. Which is a huge number. Okay. So he never really focused on his nutrition. He ate like the organic stuff. He always bought organic and thought that was nutrition. Like, okay, organic means it's from a good farm, perfect. I'll go ahead. And I said, no, this is what we got to do. We're going to make sure you get this exact total of macronutrients, and just follow that for 30 days, and then wham, the results speak for themselves. Okay, visceral fat area went down, so that body fat around the organs that decreased, but the majority of his fat mass loss was the external, which you can see. Okay. Like I said, he went down 3 years in age. Here are his photos. So you can see the difference. He tightened up a little bit before and after. So he's got some more definition showing up. Okay. You can see in the first picture, he looked grumpy. And then he was so happy with the way he looked. So he had a smile on his after photos. Okay, which is good. That's what we want. We want you to feel better. Okay. Whitney's here. Okay. So Whitney, different scans there. She went, total body weight stayed relatively the same, okay, but her lean body mass went up in 3 pounds. More importantly, her skeletal muscle mass, so that is the muscle which is attached to bone, okay? So that's like the quadricep, okay? And that one went up in 2 pounds. Her total fat mass went down 3.1 pounds, okay? So she also, but the cool thing about that is, remember, her total body weight, this is why scales don't really matter. Because, yeah, it's great to see pounds go down, right? But look, she didn't lose a single pound, exact same weight before and after, but her muscle mass increased, her fat mass decreased, and that's why her weight stayed the same overall, okay? You can't replace muscle with fat. They're two different types of organs or compounds. So, but you can shrink a fat and you can increase a muscle. And then that's how her weight stayed the same, okay? And then her biological age went down a year, which is another good thing. And then there you've seen her photos as well, okay? So you've got the before and after photos, as you can see. Again, she was smiling in the, well, I made her laugh in the first one because she didn't want to take the picture. So I made her laugh anyways. But anyways, you see the progress visually there for her, okay? And then here comes Coach Eric, okay? So his total body weight went down 2.5 pounds. Yes, he lost a little bit of muscle, but that's okay because he's a big muscular guy, okay? When you have muscles to the extent that Eric does, it's hard to maintain that stuff, okay? It takes a lot of, and then especially when he was still in a goal where he wanted to lose some weight, okay? So with that, he met his goal of losing weight, okay, but he has to sacrifice a little bit of muscle. So the whole building muscle and then losing fat, like that is a challenging thing to do once you are already so, like, you've seen Eric. He's big, okay? He's got muscles. So it's hard to maintain that muscle, but he's gonna have to sacrifice a little bit of muscle to lose the fat too, okay? So those are all, we wanna give you guys 3 different viewpoints of this. Older gentleman, okay, middle-aged lady, and then middle-aged gentleman as well, all right? So here are his before and after photos. You can see a lot more definition. He did lean up and tone and firm a little bit, so he's more compacted, okay? So again, he didn't lose a lot of muscle mass too, and that was because the protein he was taking, okay? So that was a vital point. So I decreased his calories, but I kept his proteins high, so that way he would be able to maintain the muscle that he did have, and for losing only 0.1 pounds, pretty solid on that, all right? So now it's time to kind of evaluate your own goals for those that are joining us on Zoom or ladies in the room here. So what are you trying to accomplish and what is your desired outcome? Okay, think of your timeline. Make sure it's realistic, okay? Don't say I want to lose 5 pounds in a week. It's not going to happen, because not healthily anyways. You can do it plenty of unhealthy ways, but we don't want to do that because we don't want to damage ourselves long term, okay? So remember, that's why these challenges are 6 weeks. It's not by week 2 you have to make sure you've lost 10 pounds or whatever, or you feel great. You're enjoying the journey, okay? The first little bit, the 30 days, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't eat this much. It's so hard. And then now they've all sustained and continued eating the same meal. I didn't even ask them. I said, all right, your 30 days are up. How do you feel? They say, oh, great. I'm like, all right, cool. What's next? I'm like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and continue on the meal plan that I have. And then now Eric and Whitney, they want to, dip into supplements and buy some more too. So they found the ones that they like the most, and then that's the ones they're going to buy. So that's the thing. We're giving you the options of here's the 3 basic ones, and then you can down the road kind of determine which ones you enjoy and which ones you don't. Okay? So find your timeline and make sure that your habits are growing into something that is sustainable. Okay, you want to make sure, like I said, this is more, even if they're tier 1 individuals, we want this to turn into a lifestyle. Okay, so that's why we have accountability. So everyone's going to be assigned to a coach, and then they're going to communicate with said coach. Okay, the coach's job is to reach out, and it's also a give and take. So if you say, oh man, I'm really struggling, coach, help me out, then you reach out to that coach and they help you out. Okay, and then also, other things that you want to make sure you ask yourself: do you eat fish and chicken, okay, and eggs and things like that? Do you get enough protein? Are you taking a multivitamin already? And are you drinking enough water daily? So just a little bit of a self-assessment, okay? See, what are my current habits? And then are they helping me get to that goal based off of kind of what you want to do today, all right? And then that brings us to the Get Fit for Summer Challenge, okay? So tier 1, as mentioned, this is one where, remember, $500 is up for grabs for the male and the females that lose the biggest body fat percentage, which is a great prize, okay? But a better prize is making sure that you turn your habits into a positive way, and then you can continue that beyond this challenge, right? So tier 1 is going to be more of that accountability, like, yeah, I want to make sure, like, I don't drink wine for the whole 6 weeks. It can be that goal. Or it can be like, I don't want to eat out, but only 1 time a week instead of 2 times, or something similar to that. Or it might be the body fat percentage. So that's tier 1. Okay, tier 2 includes that, okay? But it also, you get a few different things with that. So 1, you get a personal 30-minute nutrition consultation, okay? we're going to have sample meal plans to what that e-bolt tells you to kind of follow. Okay, so that way you have a structure to kind of go on. But remember, we're going to have the flexible dieting a little bit involved with tracking what you intake. So let's say, you know, I don't like to eat red meat that often. Then you want to eat more chicken or whatever, and then you want to add fats in there through avocados or whatever the case. So things like that. So I'll give you samples on what you can go off of, and then you can kind of tinker and play around and then ask questions. Okay. Supplement package for the basic value. So that is $135 value. That's going to give you the amino acids, the fruits and greens, and the protein. Okay. So we'll have some other things that you can take a look at and kind of study over and see if that's something that you want to dip into. And then guidance on MyFitnessPal. So I'm going to lead you through how to set that up for yourself. And then we're going to review your scan. Okay. So the first thing, there are 3 scans actually in tier 2. Okay. So your first scan is going to be so we can have a consultation. Okay. So I can kind of go over that and say, here's exactly what you need to do in MyFitnessPal, yada, yada, so on and so forth. Okay. And then you do a scan with everybody at the beginning. So that way we all scan on the same timeline. So that way you're still eligible for that $500 prize. Okay. We don't want you to be like, I took my scan here and then like I got screwed over and things like that. Okay. So you'll have 3 scans and then the last one, the third one will be at the end. Okay. So the signups are going to be from now until the 21st of March. Okay. So 21st of March is 10 days away. Okay. So make sure we get that sign up and choice decision making time. I know a few of you on here were debating on do I want to do tier 1, tier 2. Okay, so now you have the information that you need and you can decide which one you like. Step 5, your challenge begins. You're gonna sweat a lot and eat good, and then you get your 3rd and final scan, and then we'll have an end of challenge part. Okay, so we're gonna make sure everyone's having fun, like you did an awesome job. You know, yeah, sure, maybe you develop new habits, maybe you did stick that goal, maybe you struggle a little bit. We are gonna have this journey fun and together, right? That's what this is, community. It's like hanging out with your friends, and then at that party, we're just having fun, and they're all going to have a good time together, and just kind of, you know, celebrate our victories over the course of that 6-week period. All right. Make sure you do make decisions soon because there's only 20 slots available, and I think we've got about 7 or 8 signed up for tier 2 already. All right, and then that kind of brings it to a fold of everything that we kind of went over. So you ladies have any questions right now? I know it's a lot of info, but do you have any specific questions that I might be able to answer? Silence. No questions. Good. Okay. If you are on here now, I think there's a chat feature here that you can chat if you have a question, or you can just ask next time you come on in, and then we'll answer any questions that you might have. All right. Otherwise, appreciate you sticking around after your box workout. Okay, good job. So make sure you made the decisions. I know you're already hopped on to tier 2. Did you decide tier 1 and 2 yet? I just wasn't sure if you did. No pressure. Okay, cool. So perfect. Just remember, make that decision about the 21st. Okay. Yeah, perfect. Good deal. And then the rest of you, make your decisions. All right, if you have any questions, reach out to us. If not, hope you guys have an awesome day. Thank you for joining us. It didn't take an hour, it only took 45 minutes. So good time. There is a question here. Let's see. What about collagen peptides for supplements? Is that included in one of the ones that you mentioned? Some people post about using them. We'll have to review basically the ingredients and see that, but we don't have one that is very specific to just only collagen peptides. They're SID. So once we get everything on display, we're going to put the supplements that we have on display, and then we can kind of go venture into that and then make sure that we answer that question for you. All right. What website? The muscle sport? No, that's attached to these. Yeah, so if you have questions or you want to look ahead of time at these supplements, there is a link provided, and then you can just click on the link. It's on all those supplement slides, and then you can look up the specific supplements that you might have questions on. So right there at the bottom, musclesport.com/collection/all. Okay, so you can kind of look and bounce between this slideshow as well as their website, and then you can kind of see specific ingredients already if you don't want to wait until they're up on display. All right, cool. All right, team, thanks for joining. Hope you guys learned something, and we will see you in studio soon. Thanks, guys. There's the